catch any, caught any deer yet?
No.
I got a decent one.
I did catch 5 fish today though.
It would come around all the way to about was touching. Big old, probably 3.5-year-old. I thought he was bigger, but far shot. But I was happy with it.
I would be. I'd be happy to see one.
Yeah.
I got a great secret hunting spot. It's great and secret. The deer don't even know about it.
I've got a pretty good hunting spot. If I turned anybody in it, my oldest grandson will be ready to.
David, I'm gonna have to go to David Crocker Park.
I just consider not hitting the ground a successful hunt.
Being able to climb down out of the tree.
That's exactly right.
I wondered if you hunted this year. In
Yeah.
backyard yesterday.
Really?
The first morning I went, I got there and I was standing there at the tree and I thought, it had to take me about 3 breaths before.
I bet you got anxiety on that.
All right. This December 9th, 2024, 5 p.m. special session of the Lawrence County School Board will come to order. Would ask all the board members to please stand, and we'll begin by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Jessica, will you please call roll?
Sir. Mr. Adams.
Here.
Alexander. Here. Daniel.
Here.
Dryden.
Here.
Jacobs. Rochelle.
Here.
Dr. Shannon.
Here.
Watson. Weathers.
Here.
7 present, 2 absent.
We have a quorum, we will proceed. Next item on the agenda is public comment. There is no public, so I'm assuming there will be no comment. We'll move to first items on the budget items for consideration, discussion, and action items. Item number 1, Summertown High School Football Stadium Phase 2. Mr. Atkins.
Mr. Chairman, on the screen before you are the bids that we received to begin Phase 2 of the football stadium at Summertown. The bid that was received as the lowest was Doss Brothers. They are the ones that have completed Phase 1 for us. We feel like it's within the range of what we were hoping it would be, a little bit higher than what we had anticipated. And that Phase 2 is the restroom, concession, field house, weight room, rolled into one. It's a large building, but it would help finish out or complete that phase of that Summertown football complex.
To make a motion, I'd like to make a motion that we approve item 1.
There's a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. We'll open up the floor for any questions or comments. Any questions or comments? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Alexander.
Is that a brick facade on that? Is that a brick building?
It's a block, if I remember.
Okay.
Split place block.
Okay.
I've got a question also. Phase 1, Phase 2, what's next? What's missing in that complex after this?
I believe the only thing remaining will be the installation of lights, and we're working with Lawrenceburg Utilities on that. They've had a little bit of change in their programming, and Mr. Tucker and Mr. Jones are working with them to see if we can't come to a resolution that benefits the school system. But
Okay.
that would be the only thing remaining.
So fencing and paving and all that's going to be...
Parking.
It's all, okay.
Now, there will be the land that we purchased some time ago north of the field will be converted into a parking lot, and I believe we've already budgeted that
We do have that budgeted.
for that project. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Is that include sound system or is that something?
I don't think we included sound system in
Sound system will be the system that's there,
current.
and that was donated by I'm drawing a blank.
It's been donated.
But Fred
Trade.
Hinojosa has donated that, and we'll be taking that with us from the youth league. And it is a sufficient sound system. They may need to be some speakers added, but it has got the power to do what we need to do.
So it doesn't belong
But there will be wires underneath the field, so they can do, I mean, all that has been done properly, so the sound system can be plugged in.
So
there.
that sound system that's there is not property of the youth football then?
No.
Okay.
No, it is Summertown High School property. Any other questions?
And Mr. Adams, a scoreboard is in phase 2.
That is included in this phase 2?
No, what's left after
Phase
this
3.
is
Phase 3.
lots of
Okay.
The remaining.
Oh, any other questions before we go to a vote? Please call. Please call roll.
Mr. Adams,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Dryden,
Yes.
Rochelle,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Weathers,
Yes.
7 yes.
Before we move on to the next line item, I would like to, Ms. Jessica, if you would pull up those plans. So we all just voted to approve and move forward with the plan that was in our packet. There you go, and zoom in. I would like to make a motion of a few change orders. Nothing that should cost us much more money, but okay, stop right there, that's fine. If you can blow it up just a little bit more. All right, now scroll down. In your top right-hand corner, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It says that room is for officials, and you can see, if you'll scroll down just a little bit more, or no, up, I'm sorry. There you go. So it's got an exterior door to your right. This is a lot of space. Now, what I'm proposing to you guys, I have already talked to Mr. Porter, and he has conversed with Coach Winfrey, but I'd like to propose we ask, also I would talk to Mr. Tucker, but I propose that we make a motion that we get Mr. Tucker to look into these change orders and move forward with that, or report back to us what that would cost and move forward with that. But this official's room, doing away with the exterior door, bringing it to the interior, just underneath those double doors, and then that way the program can utilize that for the remainder of the week as a training room. And as it is now, it's an official's room that's going to be utilized for 3 hours on a Friday night. So let's make that accessible to the program. It will be the training room, the athletic trainers that we've talked about or whatever, they can do the taping, so on and so forth. So I'd like to propose that. Mr. Tucker is looking into, we do know that the 2 double doors there into that weight room are mandatory for the fire marshal, but he is looking at if both of them have to be double, or if we can make one of them a single door, just for the room that it takes up. Also, if you will, scroll down. All right, in the middle of the page here, you got your coaches' offices, and they are already taking a look at these modifications, but I just didn't like how the coaches' offices were so far removed. If you'll notice, the coaches' office's entrance is going into the weight room, and then you go up and you hang a left into the boys' locker room. And I felt like that was too far out of sight, out of mind. So they will be looking at making a door there in that top left-hand desk. You can see it up against the wall, or somewhere on that wall, making a door with visible going into that locker room, just so we can get that that close proximity of the adults closer to the students there. So they're looking at doing that. And then I had called into question, in the left-hand corner of your screen, top left-hand corner of your screen, the restrooms for the home locker room, you have 1 toilet and 3 urinals. I'd like to do away with all urinals. I think going to all toilets would be more fitting. But anyway, Michael and I were kind of debating that back and forth, but I'd like for Mr. Tucker to look into that and seeing what that would cost us. To me, toilets or urinals are a mess. They're a maintenance hazard. Of course, Mr. Atkins thinks that we're opening up the door with maintenance issues with toilets and partitions and doors being torn off. But anyway, I do feel like whichever way it goes, 1 toilet for this football team is not enough. So we need to at least have another toilet or 2 and only 1 urinal. But let's do some thoughts and thinking of the toilet versus urinal situation. And then I made the recommendation, no tile be laid, that this all be polished concrete for a less maintenance issue going forward. Mr. Tucker, was that all that I brought up? I think. But anyway, I wanted to make a motion that we assign Mr. Tucker with Mr. Atkins, or assign him to take a look at those change orders and getting back to us on that.
I agree on the bathroom like that, John, because one toilet could get into it, because this is a football team, you know? There's a lot, 40, 50 people in there.
Just what I'm saying, a bunch of players throwing vapes in the toilet. I would say that's probably Mr. Atkins' concern, correct?
One of.
Right, right.
Yeah, and
'Cause
that's
I
a
know
leadership.
it's,
That'd be a coach.
I know at the high schools, at the schools, it's a issue. So,
Well, again, that was one other reason I wanted to get these coaches a little more line of sight to that way, because as it is right now, they're out of sight, out of mind, away from the locker room and what's going on in the locker room. So, anyway, I've made a motion, and can I get a second to look into these change orders?
I'll make a second.
A motion and a second. Any questions, comments along those?
Is there a washer dryer in here somewhere?
Those are desks. I thought the same thing.
Yeah. There's one that's labeled equipment storage.
At the top.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I see it now.
There's a hookup for it there.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, may I?
Yes, yes.
So just to make sure I got my notes right, the exterior door to the training room, that would be removed, and we'd place an interior door in there? Is that-
Yes,
Coach's office door to the left as you come out, so that you get quick access to the locker room.
yes,
Can look at the urinals in the public restrooms
yes, and the locker,
Yeah.
and the boys' locker room.
to be replaced by toilets, and then add a toilet in the locker room, or whatever is needed there, and then polish concrete as the surface, the floor.
Yes.
Okay, make sure I have
what
my
would
notes.
what's the disadvantage of taking the exterior door out where the training room is?
After thought, I'd probably ask that it's okay to leave that door for officials to enter and
And
exit out of
just
that door.
put an interior door.
That way they would
to-
not have to come in
Through the locker room.
through the locker room. They can come in through that exterior door.
So
Well, I was-
how many exterior doors are on this? I'm thinking of for security purposes. How many doors do
But to
it?
do, what they would have to do, an official would have to leave the fencing, because there's fencing, they'd have to go outside the fencing.
Okay, so
back
there's
into the
fencing
parking.
coming around that corner?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I
So
got
they'd
you.
have to leave
I didn't
and come
understand
back
that.
in through so it's probably better to leave that exterior door.
Okay. I didn't know
Just
what that
add-
wall space, because, I mean, the only reason I was talking about removing it would be for wall space. You know, doors take up footprint. So, but if that's not an issue there,
It's pretty good size.
we can put a table for people to, athletes to get on and get wrapped and all that kind of
Are you
stuff.
still looking at putting a door from that room into the weight room?
Yes. Yes.
Interior door?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll leave the exterior and add an interior into the weight room. Is that what-
Yes, yes. I believe it. I didn't realize that there was a fence, gonna be fenced in, that would have, so, yeah, that makes sense. And then, so all the floors would be concrete, and then the program itself would come up with, if they wanted to do some kind of special flooring on this weight room floor, locker room floor, rubber mat wise, that's on Summertown to figure out. But we would provide, as a board, we provide them polished concrete floors.
Yes.
So a motion and a second, any other questions? And just for everybody's, that down at the bottom left hand, so this will be an access area. You can see the janitor closet and then an access hall closet in between the restrooms there at public. Because I had to ask Mr. Tucker what that was for, and that's just for maintenance access.
That's it.
Smart.
So, if there's no other questions, we'll please call roll on the change order motion.
Mr. Weathers,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Rochelle,
Yes.
Dryden,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
7 ayes.
Motion carries. Thank y'all very much. Next line item, Summertown renovation of the circle in the hallway. Mr. Atkins.
Mr. Chairman, in line with what we're trying to do to conserve space and repurpose space at Summertown Elementary, Middle, and High School, we will begin the process of moving the high school back to its original home. If folks who graduated from Summertown High School, if you're familiar with that, that is in the older building and has been. When we had the renovations and the additions a few years ago, we did make that move and switch, but we're making the move back, and with that involves some new ceiling tiles, new lighting, painting the walls, and in the circle classrooms, doing some painting, ceiling tiles, and new flooring in that. We're giving it a facelift that is long overdue. The good thing is the floor in the hallway, the tile floor in the hallway at Summertown High School is some of the best that we have in the county. Very solid, very strong, so we did not have to replace that. So we're looking at new lightings, new ceiling tile, paint scheme on the walls, and then in that circle, that highlighted area, all of those classrooms would have new tile, new ceiling tiles, and new lighting.
Any questions on this project? From
And
Mr.
the
Atkins.
purpose of, you said was,
It allows
Sixth graders.
space, there's existing space in that middle school that can accommodate the sixth grade coming over, whereas the high school would get more in line to be in one area. The CTE building and the high school would be more compact than it is now.
so does that mean in 25, sixth grade is moving to there?
That is the plan. That is the plan. We'll see with our MGT study, if they come back in and give us what they believe is a more efficient, cost-effective approach, then we would look at that. We've notified the Summertown community of the possibility that that's going to happen. We just want to make sure that it is the best approach from the study.
And what's been any feedback from that?
I haven't had any passed on to me.
Okay.
I'm always ready for it, but I haven't had any yet.
And another question. Is this taking into account setting up
Space or just
the
giving it a
middle
facelift?
school, their own bells?
Yes, so within this scheme, and then Mr. Tucker can jump in, we will have a separate bell system. I think the fire alarm system will remain intact, an intercom system, so forth. So it will be a clearly delineated campus. Right now, it's not. So they'll be able to make their announcements to this.
For their school only?
Yes. Their bells will ring only for their
I know
school.
that's been an issue during intercourse testing,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, with the bells.
Yep. That's the work in progress, and Mr. Hobbs has been involved in that, and we will bring some more folks in as we get closer to that.
Can I ask a question? If you take 6th, 7th, and 8th, what would be their junior high versus their high school, with the, I know their numbers up there are growing, would the middle school students, the amount of students be close to the high school students?
As far as
Yeah,
population?
as far as population.
The Summertown High School population has declined. It's been declining the last several years. That, with the sixth grade coming over, is going to have it around 300, and I believe the high school is a little over 400.
So 100 kids, you're adding essentially 100 kids if you move them over there.
That's right.
How long will that fix last?
Well, it really depends on what the growth is up there. That would be the factor. But the good thing with Summertown, if you do have a need for future building projects, there's available land there. We've identified some places where we could add on classrooms. Not many of our campuses have that, but Summertown does.
Yeah, my only concern has been about this project has been the time of completion and the timeline that they have to do this in. And I think part of the bid process was the terminology you had?
Liquidated damages.
Liquidated damages. So they had to meet a timeline or it's going to cost them money, the company which we'll be voting on tonight. And they signed up.
Was it Brad Slater?
Yes.
Is that what I thought it was?
Yes.
And that's the only bid we have, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because, see, the target start date would actually be
Spring break.
spring break?
Yep. And then Mr. Tucker, if you want to speak to that, your conversations with them.
Their plan is to do all the hallways before school's out. Working spring break, anytime we're out of school, weekend nights, and get all the hallway work done, and then do just the circle part during the summer, as soon as school's out, and finish about the last week of July.
Okay,
Phase
so,
one.
No, but everything.
So they would-
Hallway, well, I don't know. Hallways is the way we worked it out now. Hallways comes first, and then they've got the biggest task is gonna be those 10 classrooms. And they can't get in there until the summer, so.
but we're not having to do floor work.
Floor
In the
work
hall.
in the classrooms, we have to do the floor work.
Did you check on that abatement?
Yeah, I
No,
think I
no,
said-
there's
Oh,
not
okay.
required.
Not required, abatement's not required. So, will they, construction crews, be in the building while our students are in the building?
No, they would have to, it would be nights or weekends. The only time that they could possibly be there is when basketball season is finished. The theater hallway and the lobby to the gym, that ceiling in those areas could possibly be done during school time. If we could work away with the school to get to the gym and shut those areas down.
Okay, in those situations, what do we do security-wise, and does every one of them have gone through background checks?
They're in the
and-
building during school hours, they have to go through our process.
Okay. So we do make all those construction crews or
They're
whoever?
inside our building, yes.
Okay,
We're doing similar work at Etheridge this week, last week, and this week, and the construction workers in there have the visitor badge on that they signed into the office. So SROs know, teachers know who they are.
and then we take, I guess, special measures to keep students away if there's overhead work being done?
Yes.
Nobody's,
We would
Yeah.
block those areas off.
Any other comments or questions before we? Is there a motion to approve the renovation of the circle in the hallway?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Weathers. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rochelle. One last chance for any questions or comments. Ms. Jessica, if you will, please call roll.
Adams,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Dryden,
Yes.
Rochelle,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Weathers,
Yes.
7 yes.
All right, next line item, district-wide sped bus attendant wages. Mr. Atkins.
Mr. Chairman, I shared information with you as in the weekly update as to why this is a need and for the privacy of students and special ed. I would just refer you back to the comments that I shared with you. This is a challenging situation for us, and it's just not in Lawrence County. Having spoken to a few other directors, there's some behaviors that are on the rise in our lower grades and with a certain population of students. And our folks are doing the best they can with these challenges. We've been blessed that we have 3 people who have a calling to work with students of this nature and helping them get home safely, and that they are not harming themselves or others. And looking at increasing the wage for them who ride that bus in the afternoons only with our students. They gave up a tutoring position to do this, and this is something that I believe would be in the best interest of the school system to provide these 3 workers with the requested amount daily to ride those buses with our students who have a great need for additional adult supervision.
Any further comments or questions for Mr. Atkins?
I got a question. Is this for the remainder of the school year, or how's this compensation going to work?
It would be for the remainder of the school year if we cannot come to some sort of terms with some other folks. We're still have some options out there that we want to explore. That may be a challenge for us just based on the ability of those individuals to help. But it would be the end of the year.
For the benefit of the rest of the board members, maybe all of y'all, I had to get clarification We are speaking of all of these issues, and these children are on the special ed bus and not on our regular gen ed buses as well. So these are just specifically special ed bus attendants.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir?
I'd like to move that we proceed in approving this as it's been recommended.
I have a motion by Mr. Dryden. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Adams. Any other questions or comments? Ms. Jessica, please call roll.
Weathers,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Rochelle,
Yes.
Dryden,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Well, fellow board members, that brings us to the end of the meeting. I don't have any other items on the agenda. Is there any further comments before we dismiss? Meeting adjourned.